Project managers are like the operating system of the organization. I always say they're like the human API. You're a therapist, a translator, a mediator, a cop, a snack mom, an emotional support human. It takes an incredibly diverse resource to be an effective technical project manager, even in IT, which can be relatively siloed. But all project managers have one of the hardest jobs in the entire organization. The cool part about it is why I always encourage people to look at project management, because it is truly like the training grounds for future CTOs, CIOs, and even entrepreneurs. If you can keep all of those things organized, you'll have a very strong foundation for finding your own company someday. The issue here, and this is why I love this comment specifically, is how we train project managers, specifically in higher education, right? A lot of what we're learning in the classroom has very little to do, except for templates, what you're going to actually experience in the organization, because it's much more people, politics focused. Also, we see certifications that make you biased to one methodology or another, and that honestly bankrupt you. I didn't come from a family that had a lot of money for me to go to school, so I didn't have access to a lot of things like fancy MBAs, as you guys know, my feelings on that, and then also PMPs. So a lot of times when I'm talking to my students in higher education, I talk about the free access and the experience that can drive their career to be successful, as opposed to those expensive certifications. So let's break down where you can actually learn these things that's going to be valuable to your overall experience. And the first, especially for my technical project managers, is learn how to build a business case. You got to speak both languages, my friends. You got to speak tech and you've got to speak business in order to be successful. I promise you, no technical project manager is going to reach that top tier of project management without being able to understand how to infiltrate the business goals, the core business goals. So I took a business class, graduated with a computer science degree. I want to be a project manager. Super cool, right? Go out and volunteer your time to a community organization, a church, a school, go join your Rotary, join the chamber, help businesses decide what their business goals are and how to attach technology to those business goals. That's going to be kind of a micro environment for you to understand how to attach both strategies to a technical outcome. Then you're ready for that Fortune 500 PM role, where there's going to be a lot of noise, politics, red tapes, all kinds of things influencing your project, but you practiced and honed those muscles of saying, I have simple, stupid here, right? I've got a goal for the business and I've got a goal for the technology. If those two do not match, my project will not be successful. Certifications are great if you have the time and resources to get them. I think they're unnecessary, and I would look at more free certs, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's talk about why certifications aren't going to do it alone. If you come to our team, you have a PMP, that's kind of cool, but I would rather see real world experience. I would hire that person over a PMP any day. PMP, Scrum Master, those are nice to have, but no cert is going to teach you how to keep a project alive when your lead developer quit and some random VP wants a demo in 48 hours. Experience is going to teach you that. Being in junior PM roles is going to teach you that. Finding a PM that you really admire and say, how would you go through this scenario? Having a PM network to ask questions to is going to get you to that next level. Google project management courses, HubSpot project management basics, scrum.org, all of those are great free resources for you to learn the basics of project management. I would highly encourage you to check those out before you spend a ton of money on your PMP cert. Next, I want you to learn how to influence. Just because you have a project manager title does not mean people will listen to you. And when you're a PM, pressure is going to come from below and above. So you need to understand how to balance that. I always say lead with context, not control. You have to say no a lot as a project manager, but you have to say no without getting everyone to hate you. Because when people don't like you running their projects, your career is absolutely down the drain. So instead of being, as I call them, Captain, no, we can't do that, try saying things like, absolutely, we can do that, but just consider that if we do feature B, it's going to cost us X amount of time and X amount of budget while inviting X amount of risk into the project. Jedi mind trick them into thinking that they're part of the decision-making process, because people are going to respect a partner, not a gatekeeper. And last but certainly not least, life is better with friends and colleagues. Find yourself a network. A lot of times as IT professionals, networking's not really in our wheelhouse, right? We like coding in our cubicle, and that's fine. But in order to be a good project manager, we need to learn from the masses. See LinkedIn, see TikTok as a data set for you to learn from, just like this commenter did. How should project managers learn? What's the best certification that you've ever received? What is the biggest challenge you've ever experienced as a project manager? As I tell my students, not everyone has to have 30 years of experience to post on TikTok, post on LinkedIn, and add value. A lot of times you just asking the questions is adding a ton of value. No one's journey is perfectly linear in project management. So what about you guys? What have you experienced that is your best tool of cultivating project manager experience? Leave them in the comments and we can have a conversation about it.